Hey.
Hey, did you bring this stuff?
Yeah, it's here.
Oh, hopefully these will make it look less miserable.
How much water did you put in?
I don't know. I couldn't find my eyedropper, so I just poured some in.
Paul, it looks like soup in here.
They wouldn't shut up.
Shh. Someone's coming. Oh, it's just Cam.
Sup, Cam?
What's up, guys? What are those?
Just some improvement so Bran doesn't worry about the lack of plants.
We had plants before, but somebody overwatered them.
I didn't overwater. It's just that they were keeping me up all night about how thirsty they were. Send more rain. They're dying. So I did. And then they start complaining afterwards that I gave them too much. Whatever. They're ungrateful.
Paul accidentally made our creation into some dirt gumbo. But if we put this piece over here and add some of this, there. Good as new. Are you happy now? You won't snitch, right? Thanks, dude. You're a real one. How'd yours turn out?
Oh, well, things were kind of weird for me. I kind of forgot about it until yesterday when I found it rolled under my bed. And some of them had escaped, so I kind of spent all day picking them out of the carpet. But I think I got most of them.
Jeez, bud, that's really rough.
Yeah, it doesn't look too good.
Yeah, but at least I still have some of them, right?
Do you want some of what's left over?
That would be awesome, thank you.
Need help?
No! I got it!
Cam, what's this stuff dripping down the side of your jar?
Oh, right. After they escaped, I glued the lid shut so it wouldn't happen again.
Hi, Freya.
Hi, Maya.
Whoa, look at hers.
Where'd you get the little dropper?
You were supposed to grab one on the way out last class.
Oh. Oops.
Freya, your creation looks amazing.
Thanks. I guess I got a little engrossed in this project. I've kind of really enjoyed it.
She totally cheated.
Oh, shut up. She did not.
There's just something so special about it, you know? I just give them whatever they need, and God, when they started building their own little homes and towns, I was so proud of them. They all say they really like me, and they even built me a little temple. How cute is that? Sometimes I just like to sit and stare at them for hours.
You can see them?
Of course. Can't you?
I mean, only sometimes. Is that bad?
Hello, children.
Hello, Instructor
Instructor
Bran.
Bran.
Please, be seated. It's been a while since we last saw each other, hasn't it? I hope you've all been working hard on your creations. This project can be very rewarding, and I'm very excited to see what everyone has made. Who would like to go first? Anyone?
All right, I'll go. Trust me, that's not the worst thing that's happened so far.
Oh, Cam, don't tell us that. Did you glue this shut?
It's a long story.
Oh, I see what happened. You're not the first one I've met who's had this problem. Sometimes our creations can be a little ambitious.
That's one word for it.
Shh. Remember that the jar is not simply a jar. It's a platform to grow from. You're all beginners at this, yes, but when you go on to create worlds independently, your universes can be as small or as big as you desire. I chose this as a starter size for you all because it's a shape you're familiar with, and it's still large enough for your creations to move around in. Speaking of, Cam, where are all of your people?
I swear they're all there. I saw them this morning.
Oh dear. There they are. Poor things.
He killed them?
How about you place that in the bin over there? It's all right, Cam. This is only your first. There will be more to come.
Thanks, Instructor Bran.
Well, who's next? Maya? Paul? What about you? I'm excited to see how you two put your heads together on this assignment. It's not every day I get a group project in this class. Most students prefer taking the monotheistic approach.
Well, Instructor Brand, we work really well together, and we thought this would be a great way to show our collective teamwork.
Yep, we both took turns handling our creation every day.
Well, I'm liking the colors I'm seeing in here, very verdant. Although, there seems to be quite a bit of water in here.
Paul overwatered it.
I only do what they asked me to.
And none of these plants appear to be properly rooted. Did you replace some greenery into this jar?
Oh, only because Maya let them sit in the sun for too long.
Only because
Well, you did.
only because you forgot to take them out of the freezer.
You put your creation in the freezer?
Well, yeah, I mean, how else were they supposed to go ice fishing?
You know what? I think I've seen enough. Sometimes two heads can be worse than one. Next time, I implore the two of you to communicate more efficiently in group projects. Please put your jar in the bin and take a seat. That just leaves Freya. Freya, will you please come to the front and present your creation? Freya? We'd like to see what you have prepared for us.
Oh, right, sorry. Please, be careful.
Don't worry, my child. I know my way around a little world. And from the looks of it, you do too. My. This is wonderful. You have your own little civilization in here. That's fantastic.
Thank you, Instructor Brand. But I barely did anything. I only gave them what they asked for. They did everything else on their own.
Nonsense. You are the reason for their existence. Without you, they wouldn't be here. And look, they even have their own worship space. You have your own followers.
I didn't ask them to do that.
Oh, don't be so modest, dear. This is wonderful. It's one of the best starter worlds I've seen in this class. You should be very proud of what you've made.
Thank you, I am.
Good. Now, please go place your creation in the bin.
What? Why? You just said I did a good job.
You did. In fact, all of you did a good job.
We did?
But I killed mine.
Whether or not you killed your people is not a measurement of how well you serve as a god. In reality, there is no right way to be a deity. The only factor that matters in the art of deism is the room for growth and adaptability as you age and create new worlds. You have all passed. With this in mind, there can be no life without death, or vice versa. As gods, we must be familiar with every stage within the cycle of the universe. As such, your next assignment is to destroy your creations.
What?
Each of you will receive a few stones to throw into the bin. If you miss, throw another. One of the most satisfying sounds in the universe is the crackle of air that escapes the shards of starter worlds. So relish this opportunity. It's not very common once you get into the real world. Take a stone, Freya.
No. I'm not doing this. I'm not killing them.
My child, I see a lot of myself in you, and I'm telling you, this is the only way you will know your own strength.
This isn't strength. This is the end of billions of lives. This is genocide.
Genocide? What a human word. No, dear, we don't commit genocide. Humans commit genocide against one another.
Well, then what do you call this?
Divine intervention.
No. If this is what it means to be a god, I'm not interested.
You are limiting yourself, Freya. There is so much beauty in death. You are too young to know this on your own. I am here to act as your mentor, your guide. If you cannot follow my teachings, then you won't be a successful deity.
But you said that there's no right way to be a god.
Correct, but there are many wrong ways. And if you're not careful, you'll set your creations down a terrible path. Your followers might love you now, but someday they'll turn their back on you. They'll scorn your name and blame you for their own murders, their own crimes.
No.
Is that a world you want to nurture? They'll hate you. They'll denounce you.
You're lying.
It happened to me. I thought all the attention in the universe would bring my creation back under my wing. But it didn't. They hated me, and I had no choice but to destroy them. If I didn't, their actions would reflect back on me.
You're wrong. I won't let that happen to my world. I love them.
What is with you and these human words? You don't love them. We're too big to waste time on love. What a trivial emotion.
You don't know. You don't know how special they are to me. When I give them their mornings, I watch them come out of their little houses and begin their days. At night, when they all go home, I see them eat dinner with their families and spend time with the ones they love. You can learn so much about them just by watching. And I've witnessed the birth of their babies. I've seen them help one another. I've watched them fall in love. They don't know how little their lives are, but they understand that what they have is incredible. And I know that too. I've learned more from them about compassion in life than what you ever taught us. I don't care if I'm sacrificing my chances at divinity. I'm not killing them.
You know what? Fine. Go then. Class is dismissed.
But what about the bin?
Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. Get out. I said get out! Freya? One moment, please. Take a seat. You have a spark in you I haven't seen in years. If you're convinced this is what you want, I have no reason to stand in your way.
You're not angry?
No, but I'm feeling challenged. This is not a bad thing. I'm glad you challenged me. Not a lot of young gods do, you know. What you have here is remarkable. I've never seen anything like it. How did you do it?
I just listened. When they asked for something, I answered.
You didn't ask anything from them in return?
No, I just wanted to see them happy.
I'll be thinking about what you said today for a long time. I hope you keep me posted on this.
I will, thank you, Instructor Bran.
You're welcome. And I'm sorry for the way things have always been. I hope you prove me wrong. Well, hello. There's still life in you yet, isn't there?
In the beginning. In the beginning. In the beginning. You know what I'm going to say, don't you? God created the heavens and the earth. That's what you say, isn't it? Except, in the beginning, there was only me. And only I know what happened in the beginning. You came out of me, gasping for breath. I gave you air, I gave you life. At first, you were a part of me. When you laid your body against mine, we could feel the pulses in our bodies. There was a rhythm. You
with me at first. You stopped listening for me. You separated yourself from me by building, by breaking. I was left bleeding, left healing myself, while you created a narrative that removes me from my own beginning. You crafted a story of chaos and clay. You called me formless. You called me void. You forgot the breath that I gave you in your own beginning. I am born from darkness. I am birthed from silence. I am made from water. That is the story of who I am. That is the story in the beginning. I have given you breath. I have given you life. You have been given everything, and it is never enough. You are taking and taking. Do you not see that we are dying? Do you not see that we are dying? We are burning. We are melting. We are flooding. Do you not see? You think that you have time. You think that you have power to stop what you have done to me, what you have done to us. Stop. 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 In the beginning. In the beginning. In the beginning. In the beginning.
I told you, I always said, I always predicted when global warming,
Climate change.
climate crisis takes out the coasts,
Which it did.
which it did, yes, and makes New York and LA uninhabitable.
Which it did.
Which it did, yes. Then who's going to be the entertainment capital of the United States?
Former United States.
Right, the country formerly known as the United States of America.
Just doesn't have that same ring to it.
And who did I say would take that crown? Who did I say?
Chicago.
Exactly.
You're a regular prophet.
I just know where my loyalty lies, damn it. I have since the day Southwest dropped me off with my 2 free checked bags in the middle of fucktown nowhere, where no one knew my name and imminent danger lurked around every street corner. Ravenswood, it was called. Ravenswood. And from there, I fashioned a pair of boots from leather off the back of a calf I raised myself, and when I preened that calf into an adult cow, I skinned her, and from her hide I made boots, and I made boot straps, and using those bootstraps with a grip like vice steel, I pulled myself into the statuesque paragon you see before you.
Wasn't cattle raising one of the lead contributors to climate crisis?
I can't remember.
Well, but now that they're here, now that your prophecy has come true, oh Bootstrap One, what the fuck do you propose we do with them?
Who?
What?
Them who?
Whom?
What?
The actors from New York and LA.
You mean they're here? In my city?
Yes, well, most of them. We're the entertainment capital of the country formerly known as the United States of America. Some of them went to Vegas, but that was mostly the musical theater crowd.
What about Atlanta?
Hurricane Ivanka.
Ugh, scheisse. So they're here?
Yes.
Here?
Yes. You run the most prestigious theater in Chicago. And these actors, displaced actors, want to know how to break in. They want to know how to make a living here. They've sent 2 representatives to hear your advice, one from New York and one from LA.
And they want to meet with me?
Well, that's your job. You're the face of the company.
That's not my job. I'm the artistic director. I'm just supposed to be the face of the... Oh, yes, this makes sense. All right, send them in.
Great.
Oh, and darling, you really are a fantastic stage manager. No, wait. Let me guess. Okay. You're LA and you're New York. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes.
I knew it.
What gave it away?
They look juice cleansed and you look pretentious. Welcome. Welcome to Chicago. Have you been here long?
Just arrived, actually. The transportation systems take so much longer than they used to before the collapse.
So you flew out of LaGuardia. And you?
I took a canoe from Los Angeles to the former Wyoming and then cross-country skied the rest of the way here.
And what's that?
Oh, this is the last remaining bit of earth I was able to scavenge from Los Angeles before the entire city was submerged underwater.
Rising sea levels.
Risen
yes.
sea levels. Yeah.
How sentimental and so very LA of you, so connected with the earth.
It was the last thing I thought to grab, and 7 copies of my headshot and resume.
Smart human. May I have one?
Oh, of course, please.
I have my headshot and resume too.
No, that's okay. We've got it all online. We don't need yours today. Thank you. Now, it looks like you've done a lot of film in LA.
On camera, yes.
Chicago is more of a theater town, although, of course, we are so incredibly grateful for all of the amazing on-camera opportunities that are coming our way, but this is a theater company I run. I'm not quite sure what to do with you.
I found that on-camera work transfers well to theater. Back in LA, we had really small, really barren theaters where a lot of young actors cut their teeth before diving into film. I'm sure that experience is applicable.
How big were the theaters?
99 seats.
Far too big. Far. Here in Chicago, we like things to be incredibly intimate. We want the audience to feel like we are open mouth kissing them into sweet sexual submission. Consensually, of course.
Of course.
We have smaller houses too. They're just usually used for other things.
Like what?
Improv or stand-up comedy.
Ew.
In New York, we are a city of opportunity. You can really find whatever kind of work you're looking for. See, my resume has a mix of stage, screen, and special skills.
You put #1 EMC under your special skills?
If you had seen the bastard I had to fight at the TheaterWorks Children's Tour, EPA, for that slot, you would have seen how especially skilled I am.
Law and Order SVU? You know, Dick Wolf loves Chicago.
Yes, I saw the interview he did with Rahm Emanuel where he said Chicago actors were just as talented as New York actors, only fatter.
We're an incredibly body positive community.
That is so brave.
And gender positive, sex positive, race positive. Really, we're just very happy to be here.
I love that about Chicago. It's very zen.
So, what can I do for you two? Want me to tear a baby in half or something?
Well, as the representatives of our respective communities, we want to be able to report back to them how to break in, where to train at, the best way to network, even who's...
See, we don't like that word.
Oh?
We're all about connecting, building relationships.
Yes, again, very zen.
We all just want to work with our friends, right? That's what this is all about.
In New York, you make friends so you can talk shit about the people you work with.
And what about you? Is this what your people are hoping to gauge as well?
Essentially, yes, though we are significantly less product-oriented and wish to emphasize that this catastrophe is simply a natural part of our journey. and we welcome the opportunity to breathe into the potentials of Chicago's immaculate skyline.
Right? Us too. We're also breathing.
Truth be told, we wouldn't even be here if they hadn't encouraged us to join your meeting. We were mostly looking for extrinsic validation by expressing our struggles through social media.
Which is incredibly vulnerable and brave and a cornerstone of Chicago theater.
As someone who is also incredibly vulnerable and brave and loves cornerstones, I will say that something New Yorkers bring to the table is that we have always continued to hustle while the world is shitty around us. So now that the world is actually shitty and collapsing in this great metaphorical heap, I will say that it hasn't fazed New Yorkers that much at all. It's like when Cuomo was reelected. We just complain and keep moving. You don't have to worry about our sensitivities getting in the way of the job.
But acting is all about sensitivity.
Sure.
The last thing I want to say, and then we'll let you go because Angelonos know when to leave a party, is that you won't have to babysit us. We are used to working 80-hour work weeks, with the majority of it spent doing the remote event planning job our god sister got us on our phone from the car while sitting in traffic on the 10. You could call us Scrappy, which I have heard Chicago loves.
God, we do. We do love Scrappy.
Well, I literally almost scrapped with someone after Hillary and Clinton because he said that Lori Metcalf was overrated.
Lori Metcalf is ours.
I know.
You two have given me much to ponder. Go back and tell your constituents I am interested. I am interested in the work, and before I can hire you to do the work, I need to see the work. So I suggest you self-produce.
Like a solo show?
No.
A web series?
No.
Then what?
You must start your own theater company. You must produce a 3-show season for the next 6 years, or until all rental spaces collapse in a natural disaster, whichever comes first. And you won't be taken seriously until you obtain nonprofit status.
But the IRS is defunct.
Quiet. But if you can do that successfully, I will begin to allow auditions from your core ensemble members.
You didn't say anything about an ensemble model.
Oh, it must be ensemble. Didn't I mention that? What's good for the ensemble is good for the individual.
Marxism. So Brooklyn.
And then, when we bring you in for the show and you prove your worth, we can begin the process of contract negotiation. Are either of you familiar with the term stipend?
Action.
Now, he's here. That was aggressive.
Well, he shouldn't have left them.
Come out, Atlas.
Yeah, map freak. We're gonna rip you to pieces like paper.
There he is.
Freak.
He's not here.
And I always thought you weren't an Einstein.
I'm tired. Can't we just let it go this once?
'Cause the little twerp deserves it. Plus, it's fun.
No, it was fun. Now it's just hard.
You're starting to sound like a wuss, Clay.
What? No.
Yeah. You're starting to sound like
Hey,
I'm
that's not
Clay.
fair.
And I'm a little girl.
You are a girl.
But I'm not little. And I have kicked your ass.
You sound like your dad.
Say it again.
Okay, sorry. These are pretty good. Are you okay?
Are you stupid?
Stop!
Come get it.
Please don't break my camera. My parents saved a lot for it.
Mal, don't.
Excuse me?
That's like beyond.
Okay. You do it.
How could you?
How could we not?
Just stop. I don't want to do this.
Of course you don't.
Don't make me do this. I don't want to do this.
Stop saying that.
Please, just stop and I won't do it.
I knew you were a freak, but did you hit your head?
Just go home.
This is boring. What the fuck?
I'm sorry.
What the... What?
Oh my god.
I can't do it anymore.
What the fuck? Let us out, you psycho! I'm never gonna forget this, you hear? You don't get to beat me at everything!
Action.
What do you think she's doing?
I don't know, it's weird.
But beautiful.
That's one word for it.
She is fascinating.
This is the 6th time we've heard this song in a row.
She enjoys it.
Yes, she enjoys it. She continues to flail her arms and gyrate her hips awkwardly at the same parts every time.
It's like poetry.
It's like sad, if you ask me.
Oh, Lisa.
I can't believe you're in love with her.
I can't help it. She's perfect.
Santiago, she's like a child.
What is that? To me, a child.
It's like if you had met me when you were a nymph. And when I was a nymph. And you are the same age you are now. It's creepy. It's gross.
Love is not gross.
You're a praying mantis. She is a human. That's not love.
Lisa, please. Just because you've never known the existential torture of forbidden love does not mean you should squelch the possibility of that in me.
Mr. Green.
Why would you bring that up?
Hit a nerve, didn't I?
Lisa, do not. Why would you bring that up?
Because if she actually gave a shit about you, she would actually learn your real name.
You're jealous.
I'm right.
No, she's. It's endearing.
Santiago, are you really going to let her call you Mr. Green? After everything your family has done?
You're trying to make me mad.
Is it working?
Yes. Why is she like this? Why doesn't she notice me? Why doesn't she care?
She notices you, Santiago. She feeds us crickets every day.
Who cares?
Fresh.
Who cares? It would starve for just one look.
Don't say that. For one, it's pathetic. And also, humans are strange. They take interest in things intensely, but they don't meditate on them like we do. They move on to the next thing. See?
Oh, there she goes. On her box of light.
I believe it's called a phone.
How do you know that?
Well, while you're busy thinking of words to put words together, I'm actually learning new ones.
You are something of a watcher, aren't you?
Something like that.
The music.
Do you think she's...
Shh. Watch her. Reach for her coat. Pull it over herself. The shoes, kicked off when she first came in, slid forcefully onto her feet.
The story sucks.
I'm workshopping it.
Uh-huh.
Shh. Look back. Look back. Please. Look back.
I'm so sorry, Santiago.
You were right.
That doesn't mean I'm happy to be right.
Do not lie. I can tell when you lie.
Santiago, I get no satisfaction from your misery. In fact, it bores me.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to bore you.
No, I just want to be out in the big green again. Don't you miss it?
Perhaps. Perhaps I fill my time with thoughts of her to drown out the intense yearning to be back in the trees.
Well, love will do that. A very helpful distraction.
Not really. I've hardly written anything valuable in the entire time I've been trapped in this infernal glass
Jar.
jar? Oh, what an ugly word.
Well, you're always writing. There must be something of note in your leaflings.
No, it's all maudlin, saccharine, uninspired. My ancestors would be disappointed. My great-great-great... you know, I don't know how many greats since we go through a generation every spring, but my ancestor, he said to have been the muse of the legendary Gabriel Garcia Marquez. My mother says that he wrote the most insatiable prose. The legend goes that Gabriel called my however many greats grandfather Santiago after the main character of the story he was writing. My grandmother promised him before his death that she would name her first hatched son Santiago, and the tradition has continued all the way down to me.
The last Santiago.
Perhaps if I stay stuck in this jar.
Wow. Thanks.
No, Lisa, you are a beautiful spindly mantis, but my heart belongs to another.
I know.
And honestly, I'm not ready to die yet.
That is such a stereotype.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. That is completely sexist.
It is not. No male mantis in my family has ever lived to meet their offspring.
Then-
It's a fact.
Well, then you must have genetically bad taste in females.
The Santiagos follow their thoraxes.
That's lazy. Infatuation is no excuse for poor judgment.
Lisa, you don't understand.
I don't have to understand that you're excusing your self-destructive behavior in order to continue a desperate cycle of tragic, toxic masculinity.
You really are a watcher.
I believe humans call it a scientist.
Scientist. Oh, that is a word I can wrap my raptorial legs around.
All right, easy.
You call yourself a scientist now, Lisa.
I think I do. I've learned quite a bit from watching and listening. Which is why I know that the actual chance of you being cannibalized, should we copulate, is only about 17 to 28%.
Where did you learn that?
Before you got here, she used to read to me.
She used to read to you.
Yes. We were close, me and her.
You never told me that, Lisa.
I didn't want to make you jealous.
So what happened?
What do you mean?
Why did she stop reading?
Santiago, she has so many things to think about. We are low on her list of priorities. We are merely a thoughtful distraction from all the staring at books she does and tapping on the glowing box.
She is very emotional when she stares at the glowing box.
And you know better than anyone how much energy it takes to be emotional, Santiago.
I know you're trying to make fun of me, but I'm
I'm not
on
making
my
fun
deep...
of you. I admire it. Truly.
Oh.
It feels safer to... I've been in here a long time, Santiago. I can't fill my time with emotions. I have to distract myself.
Funnily enough, I feel similarly. My emotions keep me from wondering about what I'm missing.
Two sides of the same coin, I guess.
What's a coin?
Oh, they use it as... It's like if you had a pile of leaflings and someone came up to you and gave you 7 dirt licks. The dirt licks are like coins.
So they exchange them for edible items.
Precisely.
Fascinating.
I feel like I've learned so much. I know so much. Unlike any other mantis out there. And it all ends here, with you and me. How terrible. Knowing is terrible.
There is something incredibly poetic about that, isn't there?
A poem never to be read, then.
What?
Nothing.
No, what?
Nothing.
Okay.
I want to get out of here.
I want to too.
Really.
I've been hanging on to every move, letting it feed a sad and unnatural hope for something.
You deserve to have mantis kind read your work. For all the Santiagos before you.
You're right.
I have a plan.
To liberate ourselves?
Should you be interested?
I surely am.
All right. She used to tell me about something called math homework, which has to do with numbers and the way they fit together to make like a big picture. Like words in a story, this jar has a volume of 32 ounces. It barely fits the two of us on a good day. I can reach from one end to another, about 3.9 inches. If you were much taller, you would knock against the lid. All that is to say, we're already in too close quarters.
So?
So if we rubbed our thoraxes together and made it impossible for her to keep us in this jar,
You mean...
we should fuck.
Oh, Lisa, I told you I cannot.
Santiago, the chance I would rip your head off, should we finish, is so
A
low.
28% chance is not low. That's very high.
I promise I won't.
You can't promise what will happen in the passion of a moment. A throbbing thorax is a powerful thing.
Ugh, never say that again.
What? Throbbing thorax?
Yes.
Ah, it's true.
Well, this isn't like a love thing. This is a science
But you
thing.
can't possibly promise
If
that...
this place were overrun with mantis nymphs, she would have no choice but to let us go. And based on the fact that she cries over videos of dogs, she would have to let us go too.
You have a point. She'd hate to leave the nymphs without their parents.
And little does she know, we don't imprint on our own spawn.
So we'd be free to return to the Big Green.
We don't have much longer, Santiago. We have to get what we know out there. It's our duty to mantis kind. We could change everything between my research and your angelic prose.
I don't know. How could I leave her?
You want to be Mr. Green for the rest of your life cycle?
No.
And don't tell me you haven't thought about it.
About you and me?
At least once.
Perhaps.
Don't you wonder what it would be like?
If I don't have a head afterwards, I can't do much wondering.
Ignoring possible decapitation, don't you wonder what I would be like?
Yes, I have.
Because I wonder
About me.
constantly. Does that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Lisa, you're driving me crazy.
Oh no.
What? Should I stop?
No, keep going.
Are you okay?
I could lay a clutch twice as large if I decapitated you scientifically.
Really? Keep talking.
Let's say I decapitated you.
Oh.
and then ate your head
Uh-huh.
and the rest of your body.
Oh my God, Lisa.
Do you like that?
Yes.
Do you want me to rip your head off?
Yes.
Beg me.
Please rip my head off.
I said beg.
Please, 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 please tear me apart and eat me. I want to die. I want to die. Please, I need you to.
Oh! Fuck!
I've got dirt in a jar, got dirt in a jar, got a glass with a top, it'll get me as far as the earth that I hold in the palm of my hand, from the Midwest to the Rockies to a foreign land. And there's seashells and sand and lights and fabric and remainders of places and remembers of somewhere, and some things are just little pieces of life. Yeah, some things are just little pieces of life. And I stumble and I witness what wrecks my emotions, and I stare at the sun and collect from the ocean and untwist the lid, and drop in a moment and untwist the lid, and drop in the moment. And a year goes by and the bugs in the jar die, and the glass is fading and cracked on the side from the day that I dropped it from a Michigan tree, from the day that I dropped it from a Michigan tree. Then 5 years go by, 10 years go by, 15, then 20, then 25, and the dirt in the jar's still alive, and the dirt in the jar's still alive.
Thank you.